Hello and welcome. So glad you dropped by today. My name is Lynda Phippen and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. Last week we did Christmas cards and it got hotter and hotter. And so this week I am going to do some snowflakes to cool us down but get us ready for Christmas. I know it's early, but it'll be here before you know it. So let's just get started. And here's our stamp that we're going to use today. It's a large background stamp called Snow Crystal, and it is quite pretty. It looks like it has quite a bit of depth and thickness to it, so it's very, very, very nice. And then I've paired it up with this Joyful Flurry because I needed some stamps to work with as well, so I've used these snowflakes. So hopefully this will cool us down from all the heat that we've all been experiencing. This is the card that we're going to be making, and it is a fun fold. So let's just pull all our pieces together. Just set those aside. And I've taken an 8.5 by 11 and scored them at 2 1/8 on each side, which puts the middle at 4 1/4 by 5.5. So it really is the same size of card, just that we've folded it in the middle, of course. So you want to make sure that you give it a good extra little encouragement to fold. There we go. And I'm using gold, and I have used gold embossing powder for the front. So let me just show you just some things that you want to remember. This is the Stamparatus, and I have it set up. So you always want to put a little bit of this sort of anti-static. It's kind of a powder inside of it. But especially on black or these dark colors, if you don't get it covered, then the embossing powder will attach itself to places that you don't want it to. So then we're using Versamark, and we're going to give it a nice extra little encouragement here. And if you don't get it all, that's why we have it on the Stamparatus, so that you can give it another little bit of encouragement on this side here. There we go. Okay. Now this is a scrap paper piece. As you can see, it has a line through it. That's because I folded it. And then you take your embossing powder and you just put it on, and it will stick. And then if you get a little bit on, you can take a paintbrush and just, but it should listen to you, to where you want it to go. And then you take your heat emboss machine and you just melt it, and then this is how it turns out. So it is very pretty, and I'm using gold again because gold is awesome for Christmas. So I will have the measurements below, and so that you would be able to make your own cards. So the nice thing about glue, besides getting all over your fingers, is that you do have a moment or two just to make sure that it gets straight. Okay, so then after I embossed it, I just cut it in half, right down the center. And you always hope that you get it straight, but I did this time. So then we've got 1/2 there. And the other half glued on here. Then I took Merry Christmas from another set, and I will mark that below. We are going to use it again, so I'll show it to you in the next card. I wanted to put double-sided tape because I feel like you just don't want it to come off with the embossing powder. I'm sure it wouldn't. So I centered it where the middle of the snowflake is. Okay. This paper, you'll remember, is some of the free product from Celebration, and it is gold dots. And if it's a real blizzard, it would look like this. When we put all our snowflakes in the wind. Okay, so there's the card. Now what I did on the inside, I embossed some of the snowflakes from this set here. So they are very detailed. And for other cards, just to give you an idea what they look like, and very, very pretty. And of course you can put a white piece in there to add your own sentiment. And I didn't get any jewels, which you can, but sometimes it doesn't need to have so much stuff on it. So anyway, this is card number 1, and I really like how beautiful that gold looks. And this here is much finer than the stamp we used here, but this is a large stamp and very nice. So this is card number 1. And here is our second card. Again, I used this same snowflake background stamp and embossed it in white. And we're going to do a little bit of watercoloring. And I have a nice big block. And I have some paper so that I don't make a big mess. When I did this card, I did the watercolor first and let it dry, and then I embossed. This time I've embossed, and we're going to do the watercolor on top of it. So it clearly doesn't matter which way you do it. It's whatever you feel comfortable doing. So the color of watercolor ink I'm going to use is Tahitian Tide. And you just put, let's put 4 colors, or 5. And I have a watercolor brush. As you can see, I've been using it quite a bit. And you want to put water, make sure you have some water with you. You can spray it on or just have a little bit of it there. And I am not an artist by any means, but most of us aren't, and this is just fun. So I just went across with my water brush, and if you want more water on it, you can do that. And watercolor is just fun to do. And I just wanted some, you know, a little bit of texture on it. But if you keep going, you can just make it darker. So it's really up to you how you want it to look. So there. So this is just, it's quite a bit darker than this one. But I'm going to set this aside and make, you can take your heat tool and dry it, but for the purposes of time, we will just use one that's already dry. And cleanup is that easy. And we'll get rid of this. So I have our card base, and I already have cut out the background piece, which is just plain white, and I thought it brought out the color quite nicely. So let's just glue that on. And I did have to play with the measurements here. I will put them in the description below. Okay. So just give that a little minute to dry and set. So just put that over here. And the sentiment is from the Handmade Wishes. So I'm just going to show you how nicely this comes together, because it is very pretty. And there's lots of choices to use. So in all three cards, I've used the Merry from here and Christmas. So for all three cards, Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas will be here before you know it. So this is one of the frames. It stamps very nice. And then I put Merry at the top. And our Christmas. Better not get it upside down. Turn that around. I hope I got that straight. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. And then this really neat, I don't know, swirl I put on the bottom. And I did this in black memento. And then there is a handmade tag punch, which we'll cut that out, punch that out for you. And it is that simple. So I made the white. Okay, so we don't need this one. And I made a gold one and a Tahitian color. So what I did for this one was I cut these in half, and then I just layer them. So I don't know if the Tahitian just got a little lost in the card, so I'm going to try and put that on first, and then the gold. I have to think about what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay. So we'll just see if the gold is just a little more visible. I think I put too much glue on. Too much, not enough. All over your fingers. That is the fun of crafting. Okay, so I'm holding that for a second. I'll put a little bit of glue on the gold. Come on. Okay, 3 layers. I'll just give it 1 second, and I always forget something, and I don't see my dimensions. Just a second here. I think it's time to get myself some more dimensions. Okay, we're going to use the ends of these tiny ones here. Put 2 in the top. Oh, you know, you're having fun when you can just laugh at yourself. The things that we do when we craft. And it doesn't matter how well organized we are. There's always something. Okay. And then I came across some glossy dots that are just the perfect size and color. And there we go. Card number 2. Now the third card that I'm going to show you, I'm not going to demonstrate it. But again, it's for ideas. And sometimes we just need ideas to get the juices flowing. So this one again is 5 by 5, and then 4.5 by 4.5, then 4.25 by 4.25. And I just have a tag on it, again embossed. And I did use this new punch that we have that is really quite creative, quite fancy. And I've used it before, so but I thought that's kind of neat. So that's what it looks like when you layer it. So I hope you've enjoyed these ideas, and thank you very much for dropping by. I thank you for your kind comments and your encouragement. So there we go, 3 cards, and Christmas is a little bit closer than it was last week. So have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.